you a like, a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, share, do all the algorithmic things. Appreciate you guys supporting Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Become a member, become a patron, patreon.com/BIDWKB. Dot, 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 dot. Pop up the article for me, Will. So let me get into this because the trial for domestic violence, in effect, for Jonathan Majors wrapped up. And Jonathan Majors was found guilty by a jury in a New York courtroom of 2 out of the 4 charges that he was hit with. One of the charges he was found guilty on includes assault in the 3rd degree, with recklessness, with injury, because during the dispute between he and former girlfriend Grace Jabbari, Jonathan Majors apparently injured Miss Jabbari's finger to the extent that it was fractured. Okay. We're going to check in and listen to some legal analysis actually from a reporter whose journalism I actually find credible. Hold on, let me pull this up and get this together. But hold on, as we're looking at that headline, as you guys have likely heard, this conviction already has cost Jonathan Majors in really untold opportunities, though I don't think permanently, but in the immediacy, yes, Marvel Studios immediately dropped Jonathan Majors following the guilty verdict of harassment and assault. That's right. The second thing he was convicted of was harassment, but I don't think it was a felony. Actually, I'm pretty positive that it was not. The harassment charge, I think, is being characterized as a violation, not even necessarily a misdemeanor. But there are some interesting aspects of this. But hold on. So there you see Jonathan Majors, 34 years old, star of some big movies as of late. He was in Creed 3, he was in some other shit. And I know for the people that follow such things, I should be more apprised of Jonathan Majors um movie resume, and tragically I am not. So that's kind of why I feel as though I'm probably a good person to maybe offer some commentary on this, because I haven't followed his career. I haven't seen none of his fucking movies. Okay. I don't know if this motherfucker is a good actor, a bad actor. I don't know shit about him. Except that he's 34 years old. And this altercation that he allegedly got into with his then girlfriend has cost him dearly. And so I want us to pick it up with an interview with a celebrity legal reporter. Her name is Megan Cuniff. Megan Cuniff did a really good job, in my opinion, of covering the assault trial of Tory Lanez after he shot rapper Megan the Stallion. And she does a good job of covering a lot of these, Manhattan to Los Angeles, higher profile celebrity things, but I think she does a good job. So I want us to pick up with the clip. And the clip is going to include not only some of her commentary, but we're going to see some of the evidence set forth by prosecutors in this, which includes a lot of street footage, closed circuit, CCTV footage from the streets of Manhattan. And let me tell y'all, it was Minority Report scary shit. I'm like, God damn, every single corner of Manhattan is covered by cameras. Don't do shit in Manhattan, everybody, because that shit's gonna get on camera and they're gonna be able to track you down real easy. The madness. But anyway, that scary shit notwithstanding, what we're about to hear and see are surveillance footage that don't necessarily depict the incident in which Majors is convicted of. And Megan's going to do a good job of explaining this. To be clear, because some of you may have even seen some of this footage where Jonathan Majors appears to be trying to, with some force, put Grace Jabbari back into the backseat of an Uber. That is not what he was convicted of. Everything he was convicted of involved when they got into it in the backseat. Okay. I'm trying to think, should I lead with what I'm coming back with? No, I want you guys to see it first. If you haven't seen it already, y'all can form your own opinions, and then I'm gonna give you my more. Because again, I do have conflicting feelings about this conviction, about this entire incident. Uh, so anyway, we're going to pick up with Megan Kuniff being interviewed and pay attention to some of the closed circuit CCTV footage that is well documented that prosecutors had no trouble getting their hands on. And we'll come back and talk about it. Let's take a look.
But the verdict is a big loss for Jonathan Majors in that they did rule that he caused the finger injury that we've seen photos of, and that Grace Jabbari has said that was caused when they were struggling over his phone. She'd seen a text message that he'd received from a woman. It was saved as Cleopatra in the phone, and it said something about, "I wish I was kissing you right now," and that happened in the back of an SUV that was being chauffeured by a driver that Majors was hired. And her testimony was that her finger was injured during the struggle over the phone, and that he also hit her in the head and caused her ear injuries. So he was found not guilty of an assault charge regarding intentionally assaulting her, causing intentional injury. But he was convicted of an assault charge regarding reckless injury, which is related to the finger injury. And then he was convicted of a harassment violation, which is less than a misdemeanor, for what happened in the SUV afterwards, which is going to be coming up here on the surveillance video. We're looking at surveillance video right now that prosecutors showed the jury during the trial. This is a collection of videos that marked Major's movements throughout the night. And we can see him actually after the incident. He goes to a hotel in Manhattan and stays there for several hours while Jabbari went to a nightclub with some people that she'd met on the street just right after this had happened. And then she ended up going to the penthouse that she was sharing with Jonathan Majors and letting herself in. And then he returns a few hours later and discovers her. He's let in by a maintenance guy. And here we see her going back to the penthouse right now. So this is after the altercation that happened in the SUV. And this is when she has the finger injury that prosecutors had photos of, that she photographed herself. And she's coming back from a nightclub here. And we really see how extensive the surveillance video was of all this, just in that, I mean, practically all their movements throughout the night in Manhattan are traced. And we see some kind of record of what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question everyone is asking themselves, Megan, is Jonathan Majors going to serve time in jail because of this or not?
It's not.
Yes. No. The answer is no. I don't think he is going to serve any jail time. At least he shouldn't. But hold on, let me back up because I see the comments flying in the chat. So guys, here's the deal. This is how I read that situation. Okay. So as you heard, Jonathan Majors was riding in the back seat of an Uber with his then girlfriend Grace, and a text comes through on his phone from Cleopatra, alluding, "I wish I was kissing your lips," or "No, sucking on your lips," or something suggestive. And that's the first flag on the play. The first flag on the play is this motherfucker is texting another broad while his girlfriend is literally riding right next to him. Okay, now Grace, he seems to have an issue with how much Grace drank. So perhaps texting another woman while Grace, who maybe liked to drink, maybe not a great idea, right? And I'm not saying this young woman is an alcoholic. I'm saying that apparently she does like to drink. And I'm not trying to cast any aspersions upon her as a victim at all. I'm just making an observation, okay? Sometimes alcoholics can get rowdy. I'll just say that, okay? So he obviously tries to hide this text from her. She is trying to grab his phone. And that in that melee, I can't even call it a melee, but in that interaction is how her finger got broken. Do I think that he grabbed her finger and broke that shit because she tried to reach his phone? No. And that's what a jury also agreed. What he was found guilty was third-degree assault causing reckless injury, not intentional injury. So while they were struggling, She is attempting to grab his property. He obviously doesn't want his current girlfriend see him texting his side girl. So he's trying to protect his phone. I'm not giving a justification. I'm just saying I can see how this could have went, right? And I don't know Jonathan Majors' dimensions. He seems like a large fellow, all, muscles are ripply and shit. Man strength. I think a man could have easily, without intentionally, broke a woman's finger. And if you guys are pawing at each other, what if he not throwing her a forearm, but trying to, no. Like I can just see how unintentionally that could happen, right? At the same time, that's a finger, okay? If I'm putting myself now here in Grace's shoes, if during the course of me instigating physically an altercation, which is what sounds like that happened, it sounds as though Grace was the instigator of the physical interaction between them, struggling over the phone. If I'm struggling with my man because I'm trying to grab his phone and my finger got broke, I'm gonna feel some kind of way. Okay, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm probably gonna be very mad. Am I going to go to the police and file anything? I'm not certain. And to be clear, that's not exactly what happened here either. So let's continue with the rest of the story. So during the course of that altercation, that is how Grace's finger became broken. And you see, and hold on, and that is kind of where some of my conflict comes in around this. Because again, I don't know Jonathan Majors. I'm not a fan. None of that shit. I don't give a fuck about this nigga at all. We gave me the buck. But what I saw on the video surveillance tape, I saw somebody seemingly try to de-escalate and get away, right? There was a number of times in which he departed the SUV, the Uber. He got away from her and walked away, a distance away, many blocks away. She was trying to pursue him, right? In some instances. And I'm not sure of the timeline in which that has been shown a lot, where he is physically trying to get her to get back into the Uber. To be clear, he was not convicted for that, okay? But I see him trying to separate himself, put space between he and she. And to me, that's not what an actual abuser does, right? Like if he was a serial abuser, if he had issues with domestic violence, issues with control, and I'm not even saying he doesn't have some issues with control, because we're going to hear some audio that his ex-girlfriend Grace recorded of a disagreement between them unbeknownst to him. So anyway, but my point is, I feel as though she initiated the physical contact based off him doing some goofy shit, texting another broad. Now, just because he was texting another broad, does that give her the right to initiate physical contact with him? Absolutely not. But that is what I think happened. And I think she became injured as a result of that. And I think he intentionally tried to get away from her. And that is kind of where I have empathy for him, because he started it emotionally, manipulatively, deceptively, with some betrayal that she was, I think, justified to be angry and hurt about. But I think when it comes to the physical part of the altercation, she initiated that. And if I get hurt for some combative, physically confrontational shit that I started, I don't know. So I want us to play a clip that actually I think was presented in court, which is crazy that they played this shit in court, but they did. So what you're about to hear, this audio came from page 6. What you're about to hear is I don't even know if it's an argument. Let's call it a discussion. Maybe it is a fucking argument. I don't know how everybody argue different. Jonathan Majors is chastising Grace for having gone out and gotten drunk. And he didn't dig it. So I want us to play this clip, and you guys, again, be the judge. Again, I know emotional manipulation and control, it doesn't always come with someone screaming and yelling and throwing tantrums and making a physical case about it. I understand how domestic violence is not always physical violence, right? But again, I'm not certain that's what we have here. But anyway, let's listen to this audio and you guys tell me what y'all think. Let's check it out.
I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is going to be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't. So, like, I'm.
No. Do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
I know I'm not. I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right? If I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my shit, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm not saying I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do that.
I'm sorry.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, babe, let's just go to bed. Which I said, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not hungry, blah, 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 blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on. You know what I mean? Fine. I can take that. Fine.
Okay. I'm seeing a myriad of reactions in the chat. First of all, Afra has the correct reaction because when I heard him tell that white woman that she need to be more like Coretta Scott King, I said, this nigga done lost his fucking mind. What are you even saying? Becky, you need to be more like Michelle Obama. What the fuck are you saying out here in Jonathan Majors? Hey, man, you found your snow princess the way you found her. Don't be out here trying to hold her to some black woman standards. What are you talking about? Oh, my gosh. So when I first heard that clip, I was watching TMZ Live. And when I tell you the white men lost their fucking minds when they heard that shit. Oh my God, do you hear how he's berating her? Do you hear how he's putting her down? And all I kept thinking is, God damn, I have really been talked down to if that's the case, because I have been berated and actually put down. And it did not sound like that. It didn't sound like that. And that nigga sounded like he was giving like a halftime speech. You feel me? He was like, yo, we gotta stick to the plan, Grace. You can't be in here just getting drunk and shit, you know? And listen, but that's kind of my point, everybody. Like, we're talking about this case because it's a widely known, widely covered case. This is not how typical DV cases go. Like, I'm not convinced that if Jonathan Majors was a nobody and Shorty was also a nobody, that they would even be hemmed up for this. But maybe they would. But maybe they would. Because on one hand, I can't ignore the role that race likely played in this in all kinds of ways, right? You have this big black man, you have this smaller white woman. She was injured, her finger was broke. There's no question about that. And again, I keep coming back to the jury's verdict. Like, not guilty for intentionally trying to hurt her. I don't think he intended to hurt her. Yes, she ended up hurt. I can't say whose fault that is though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel as though she started it. And I don't think that it is correct for this young actor. I can't even say his career is going to be thrown away, because I feel as though there are a lot of people looking at this like, I don't know about this. I could see if he punched her in the face. I could see if he grabbed her and shook the shit out of her and threw her on the ground. Like, I just feel as though if he were not him, I don't know where this would have went. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to play something real quick, and this is not a direct apples to apples correlation, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Well, if you could cue up that movie clip for me. When I heard and saw all the video surrounding this Jonathan Majors incident, and obviously New York as the backdrop played a part for jogging my particular memory in this direction. But you know, hold on. Before I even go there, hold on. Let me back up for a couple more details. So again, would we be talking about this if this were not Jonathan Majors? Another aspect of this that I found kind of interesting is, would we be talking about this had Jonathan Majors not himself called the police to his house? So after all of their little fracas in the streets of Manhattan, she went out and kicked it with the people she literally just met on the street, which again, she is fine and entitled to do. People who experience trauma or had a bad fight with their boyfriend, you know, them going out and partying, I don't look at that necessarily as abhorrent behavior, right? People respond to different stressful situations in a myriad of ways. A lot of people go to the bar after they get into a fight with their significant other, right? So I don't necessarily fault her for that. But apparently she went to the bar and got fucked up. And then she went back to the crib. And that's how Jonathan found her. He came back to their shared home, found her on the ground, unconscious for reasons. And I'm not certain if this came out in court. He thought that she had either overdosed or perhaps had made a suicide attempt. That's why he called police. He called the police, looking out for her well-being. When police arrived, Grace was out of it. Okay. It was reported that as part of the proceedings, that when police were talking to her, she was groggy. She was not 100% clear. She wasn't even clear that she had injuries. She didn't know how she had sustained a cut to the back of her ear and how her finger had been hurt. She didn't even know nor remember. And part of the prosecution's case that kind of sounded a little sketchy to me is that the police were assisting her with filling out her domestic violence report. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's not unusual, I suppose, but it looks a little sketchy to me. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know, just like you all know, that NYPD is no different than the rest of these racist ass police forces. And that, you know, some cops feel a way about black men specifically fucking with white women. So leading me to this clip. This is where I was, the frame of mind I got put in when all this shit finally came together this week surrounding Jonathan Majors. Let's go back in time, shall we? With a bit of a classic. Roll it, Will.
Now.
Oh.
Hey.
Don't mess with me. I got two rough brothers.
Well, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, who do you think taught Mike Tyson, huh?
Gus D'Amato.
Gus D'Amato? Yeah, right. But when he died, I told him everything he knows.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh. That's right.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
right.
give me glasses, would you?
Yes, I would.
You would?
All those good Italian boxes there are. Graziano.
Nothing.
Yeah, Marziano.
Nothing.
Come on, Lamata.
Lamata?
Yeah.
Now, how's that? What about Muhammad Ali, huh?
Hate Ali. What? Ali was a Muslim and preached hate other white people.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you. You ever talk about Muhammad Ali? You heretic. You're a witch. You're a witch. I'll never stand nobody to talk about the greatest Muhammad Ali. That's you what? Heretic. Witch. Okay, look. Game over. No. Get my glasses. Let me have my glasses.
Why don't you say please?
I'm not gonna say please. That's not gonna stop me from being angry.
Get your hands up! Put him up, I said! Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Back away!
Get your hands up! Now!
Get back!
Move!
Please separate yourself.
To the wall! Against the wall, man! Against the wall!
Right, let go of me. That's my boyfriend. That's my lover. What are you doing?
I'm not a boyfriend. We're just lovers. I mean, no. We're just
Look,
friends.
this
We're
must
just
be some
friends.
kind of
Look,
mistake.
Angela, just shut up. Just
Officer,
shut up, all right?
please.
Look, officer, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
He wasn't trying to rape you!
Assault. Oh,
Whoa.
you sure?
Yes,
I didn't do
I'm sure.
anything.
Take the fucking gun from his head.
Talk to me, man, what?
This is just a big misunderstanding. That's all it is.
Slow. Turn around. Slow.
I was just making sure she got home safe. That's all I was doing.
All right. Look, sorry about that. No harm, no foul. It's just that we got a call that a Afro-American male was attacking a Caucasian woman.
You all right, man? Just a little excitement. What? No problem. What?
Come on.
What?
Don't
Give me the
you
reason.
try.
Give me the reason,
Don't
man.
you dare try it.
Next time, man. Excuse the
What are you,
intrusion. Have a
crazy?
pleasant evening. Take it easy, all
I
right?
have your badge number. I will bring you up on charges.
Shut up.
You can be sure of the report,
Will you
sir.
shut up? What's the matter with you, huh? What are you doing telling them we're lovers? You trying to get me killed?
It's none of their business what we do.
What a waste.
What the fuck am I doing here?
That's good. That's plenty, Will. Yeah. That's Wesley. Ooh, Wesley also on one with some DV accusations in his background. maybe Wesley's not the best example to use when discussing such a story. I saw a couple of y'all said that y'all knew it was going to be the Jungle Fever clip. Look, because it wasn't just me that thought that shit, right? It wasn't just me, because that's probably how the shit would have went down if Jonathan Majors was not no major actor, right? I guess I don't even fucking know, y'all. I don't know. And again, I don't have clear answers on this. I think I've been pretty consistent when how I feel about domestic violence, how I feel about people that have harmed multiple folks throughout the course of their lives for whatever reason, anger management, the hurt people. I don't know. So I don't want y'all to think I'm going soft or that I'm not sympathetic to what Grace experienced. I am. But when I'm trying to look at these situations, it's not to me both sides. No, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes and put myself in her shoes. And the precipitating act was him being a goofball, dirtbag ass motherfucker who thought that he was just going to sit here and send fucking kissy faces to his side bitch while his girlfriend's in the car right next to him. Like, nigga, that you fucked up. You fucked up. Ultimately, this whole situation devolved or even became a situation that the courts got involved in. Jesus, that the cops and the courts and all this shit and all the media, paparazzi, and now Disney and then dropped your ass. All this because you wanted to be a dirtball, huh, nigga? all this because you wanted to be a dirtball. And listen, hey, be a dirtball. Y'all not married, but at least be better about it. Don't you use some discretion. Try to be slick. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you got the white girl that she just going for it. No, these are different white girls in the 21st century. They're not going for that shit. These are not the white girls of '93. These are different white girls. They're not going for that shit. Kim Kardashian showed them they can have as many. They can have a line them up. So they're not going for that shit. So that's your fault, Jonathan Majors, you goofy ass. You started that shit at the end of the day. And secondly, Grace, I'm sorry your finger ended up broke, but you shouldn't have been trying to snatch the phone away from a nigga 6'4", 230, okay? And he did not intentionally put hands on you. He didn't mush you. He didn't punch, slap. He didn't throw you no bow. He tried to get you off of him. He tried to get away from you. I'm so sorry an injury occurred during that scuffle, but you were trying to take his property from him, and shame on you. So in my opinion, y'all, I mean, both parties are at fault here, but only one person is going to suffer the blame. and it's going to be Jonathan Majors, or suffer really the full consequence. While it is not likely that Jonathan Majors will get any jail time, to my knowledge, this is his only criminal offense. He's 34 years old. First offender, he should get probation. It is, in real life, most domestic abusers don't lose their jobs, right? In real life, even people convicted of domestic abuse don't lose their jobs because it's not necessarily a losable job kind of offense unless you have a very specific position, maybe engaging with the public or, in some sort of, front facing capacity. But the computer programmer who put hands on his wife or his girlfriend or his partner, and she called the police and he got arrested for domestic violence, this motherfucker definitely went to work on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, and ain't nobody say shit to him about it. That is how it goes for an overwhelming majority of these cases. There usually aren't societal punishments. Jail and the like is minimal unless it's a serial offender, and even then, it's not necessarily a guarantee. It's a shame that Jonathan Majors is going to have to suffer tremendous professional consequence for basically what was a whole series of cascadingly stupid events on behalf of he and his girl. But I can only imagine that the ex-girlfriend, that is Grace, she is probably feeling a little smug, possibly a little vindicated. Obviously, he was trying to get out of a relationship with her. He's appeared to be publicly connected now to actress Megan Good, who I speculate actually was Cleopatra saved in his phone, because the face, a girl, Megan, woo, that's a face. Woo, that's a face. Yeah, I could see Megan Good being saved as Cleopatra in his phone. And so Grace is like, well, let's see if Megan Good still wants your ass now that you ain't got no motherfucking job. So yeah, Grace is probably feeling some way. Megan Good probably feeling some way. She probably believed him, but it was a gamble. That was a big gamble on Megan Good's part, to be honest. It wasn't no guarantee, obviously, that he was going to be acquitted of everything. She gambled on that and halfway lost. I think that Jonathan Majors will get picked up again. I think he will act again. I think he may not be the handpicked A-list action hero. He may not be on that same path. That part of his acting career might be gone from him, but I don't think his entire acting career is gone from him. He didn't strike me as 100% dirtball. And again, y'all, I say this like I've shared with y'all. I'm a survivor of the physical, the emotional, the verbal. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking nice. I'm not gonna. I mean, not nice. He wasn't talking perfect. Let me be clear. But again, I've been yelled at, and again, that shit didn't sound like that. That shit sounded like yelled at. It didn't sound like, I need you not to be drunk in the house, please. You know what I'm saying? I got a plan. I need you to be Coretta, Becky. What a goofball. Like a goofy ass. Yes, sir. Sit in timeout for a little bit. Somebody gonna give you another role. It might be Spike Lee. It might be Michael B. Jordan. Someone's gonna give you a call here, sir. It may be all kinds of black directors. And trust me, and to be clear, there's way more dirtballs in Hollywood that have done far worse and have been given more opportunity to come back and redeem themselves, right? What happened with Jonathan Majors and his girl ain't nowhere close to what happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And while Johnny Depp has not been cast in any movies, I believe, since, potentially the door is not closed for Johnny Depp to resume his acting career in Hollywood. And that shit was fucked up, him and Amber Heard. You know what I'm saying? However, I don't know. We know that black folks don't always get the same redemptive opportunities that white folks get. So it may not go for him. So Jonathan Majors better hope He can get some of that Mike Tyson redemptive fairy dust sprinkled on his ass, where you can get convicted of something so heinous and yet not only be given an opportunity to redeem yourself in your professional sphere, but hey, give him more opportunities to, to be cuddly and re-embraced by the mainstream again. Jonathan Majors can hope.